Why cats love the sound of crinkly things. Ever notice it? You open a snack bag, unwrap a candy, or even touch a simple piece of foil, and suddenly your cat appears out of nowhere like it was summoned by sound itself. Eyes wide, ears locked, full attention mode on. Like, how did they even hear that? Well, welcome to one of the most satisfying mysteries of cat behavior. First, cats are basically sound detectives. Their hearing is insanely advanced, way beyond humans. They can pick up tiny, high-frequency noises that we don't even register. And guess what crinkly sounds are full of? Sharp, unpredictable, high-pitched micro-noises. To a cat, crinkly sounds are not random noise. They are interesting noise. Second, crinkly sounds mimic prey movement. Think about it. In the wild, leaves rustling, grass shifting, or small animals moving through dry surfaces all create similar textures of sound. So, when a cat hears something crinkling, their brain doesn't think plastic bag. It thinks something is moving, something is alive. Investigate immediately. And just like that, instinct takes over. Now, here's where it gets even more fun. Crinkly things are also unpredictable, and cats love unpredictability. A toy that squeaks the same way every time. Boring. A sound that changes every time you touch it. Instant obsession. Because crinkly material doesn't behave consistently, it triggers curiosity loops in a cat's brain. Every touch creates a slightly different sound pattern, and that keeps them hooked like a mystery they have to solve. But there's also a sensory bonus. Crinkly textures are physically satisfying to interact with. When cats step on, bite, or bat these materials, they get a mix of sound feedback and tactile resistance. It's like playing a live-action puzzle where every move gives instant reaction. And let's be honest, sometimes it's not even about prey or curiosity. Sometimes it's just pure entertainment. You crinkle a wrapper, and suddenly you're calm. Sleepy cat transforms into a full-speed chaos machine. Eyes locked, tail twitching, ready to launch like it just heard a battle signal. Because in that moment, crinkly sound means one thing. Something exciting is happening, and I must be part of it. So the next time your cat goes crazy over a simple plastic bag or foil wrapper, don't be surprised. They're not being weird. They're just doing what they do best. Turning the smallest sound into the biggest adventure. Why cats love nighttime more than day. Ever noticed it? The house is quiet. Lights are low. Everyone is asleep. And suddenly your cat turns into a full-speed shadow creature, running across the room like it just got energy from another dimension. But during the day, calm, lazy, sleeping like nothing in the world matters. So what exactly happens at night? Why do cats suddenly become active when you are trying to rest? Let's break it down. First, cats are crepuscular creatures, which means they are naturally most active during dawn and dusk. Not exactly daytime, not fully nighttime, but those in-between hours when light is low and movement is subtle. Why? Because that's when hunting is easiest in the wild. Prey animals are active. Visibility is low. Sounds carry differently. Everything is quieter, slower, more unpredictable. And for a cat, that's perfect. Second, nighttime equals instinct mode on. Even though your cat lives in a cozy home, its brain still carries ancient survival programming. So when the sun goes down, something inside them shifts. It's not a decision, it's a switch. Suddenly, the living room becomes a hunting ground. The hallway becomes a track, and random objects become targets. That burst of energy you see, that's not boredom, that's biology. Third, cats sleep a lot during the day to store energy. People think cats are lazy, but they're actually strategic sleepers. They nap for long hours so they can conserve energy for short, intense bursts of activity later. So, while you're busy during the day, your cat is basically saying, I'll rest now, so I can dominate later. Andlate. becomes midnight chaos. But there's another interesting reason. Nighttime is also when the world is quiet, and that quiet actually stimulates a cat's senses with fewer distractions. Every tiny sound becomes more noticeable. A creaking floor, a distant noise, even shifting air currents, all of it becomes interesting. So they explore, they investigate, they zoom, and yes, they sometimes wake you up in the process. Let's be honest though, part of it is also social. Cats notice when you are inactive, still, quiet, unresponsive, so they assume it's a good time to engage you. Unfortunately for you, their playtime doesn't follow human sleep schedules. So when you're deep in sleep, your cat is in full adventure mode, thinking, perfect time, the world is alive. Let's move. And in that moment, nothing is random. Not the running, not the jumping, not the sudden 3 a.m. chaos. Because in your cat's world, nighttime isn't for sleeping, it's for living. Why cats always come at the wrong time? Ever noticed this crazy pattern? You're finally sitting down. Peaceful moment. No noise, no chaos. Everything is perfect. And then your cat shows up. Not 5 minutes earlier. Not dich. But exactly at the worst possible time. When you're on a call. When you're eating. When you're working. When you're trying to sleep. Like they have a built-in alarm that goes off the moment your life gets busy. So, why does this happen? First, it's all about attention timing. Cats are masters at studying human behavior. They quickly learn when you are fully focused on something else. And guess what that means in their world? Competition for attention. So, instead of coming when you're free, they come when you're occupied, because that's when they get the strongest reaction. And to a cat, reaction equals success. Second, it's instinct plus opportunity. Cats are naturally opportunistic creatures. In the wild, timing is everything. You don't approach when things are calm. You approach when something interesting is happening. So when your attention shifts to a phone, laptop, or task, your cat sees it as the perfect moment to interrupt and insert themselves into your world. Because in their mind, now is the moment I matter most. Third, let's be honest, they love disruption. Not in a destructive way, but in a playful, curious way. Cats quickly realize that whenever they interrupt you, something changes. You talk, you move, you respond. Sometimes you even laugh or get surprised. And that unpredictable reaction, it becomes addictive. So they repeat it again and again and again. But there's also something softer behind it. Sometimes coming at the wrong time is actually their way of staying close to you. When you are least available, it's not about perfect timing, it's about presence. They don't wait for permission. They just show up right in the middle of your life, right in the middle of your moment. And yes, it feels inconvenient, but for them, it's simple. If you're busy, I will become your distraction. So the next time your cat interrupts your most important moment, your meeting, your meal, your focus, don't just see it as bad timing. See it as a message. Because in your cat's world, there is no wrong time, only the exact moment they decide you should remember they exist. Why cats sit right in front of you? Ever tried walking through your house, only to find your cat sitting exactly in your path like a tiny, fluffy roadblock? Not beside you, near you, but right in front of you, blocking your way with full confidence. Zero apology and maximum attitude. And you're standing there thinking, why, Eddie? Of ALL places? Well, believe it or not, this isn't random at all. First, it's attention engineering. Cats are smart. They quickly learn a simple truth if they sit directly in front of you. You cannot ignore them. You will stop. You will look. You will talk. Maybe even bend down. In other words, mission accomplished, because in a cat's world, proximity equals priority. If they're in your way, they hean your mind. Second, it's about control of movement. Cats are natural observers of motion. When they sit in your path, they are literally placing themselves in the center of activity. They get to watch you come, stop, react, and adjust to them. It's like sitting in the front row of a live show starring you. And yes, they absolutely enjoy the reaction. Now, here's the deeper instinct. In the wild, positioning matters. Sitting in a visible central spot allows cats to monitor everything around their movement. Sounds, changes in environment. So, even in your home, that instinct doesn't disappear. Your hallway, doorway, or kitchen path becomes their strategic observation point. But there's also a softer side to it. Sometimes, sitting right in front of you is simply a connection behavior. Cats don't always express affection through cuddles or loud signals. Instead, they choose presence, quiet presence, direct presence, being in your space, not next to you, not far from you but right where you are going. It's their way of saying, "See you, I'm here with you, and yes, you will acknowledge me, and let's be honest." Sometimes it's also just pure feline confidence. They know you'll step around them. They know you'll pause. They know you'll adapt. And they absolutely take advantage of that power with the calmest expression imaginable. So the next time your cat plants itself directly in your walking path, like a living obstacle, don't get annoyed, because it's not just blocking you, it's interacting with you. And in their world, that tiny interruption means something bigger. If I'm in your way, I must matter. Why cats always land on their feet? Ever seen it happen? 1 second your cat is casually on the edge of a table. The next second it slips, falls, flips midair, and lands perfectly on its feet like nothing ever happened. No panic, no chaos, just instant recovery like gravity signed a contract with them. And you're standing there thinking, how is that even possible? Well, this isn't magic. It's one of the most insane natural survival skills in the animal kingdom. Let's break it down. First, cats have something called the righting reflex. From the moment a kitten is just a few weeks old, its body starts learning how to orient itself in the air. The inner ear acts like a built-in balance system, basically a GPS for gravity. The second a cat realizes it's falling, the brain instantly kicks into action. No thinking delay, confusion, just pure reflex emoji flip, adjust, and second, their bodies are built like biological acrobats. A cat's spine is extremely flexible, way more than humans. It can twist its upper body independently from its lower body. So midair, the cat literally rotates in stages. First the head, then the front legs, then the back legs, all syncing like a perfectly timed sequence. It's not one movement, it's a controlled aerial correction system. And here's the crazy part. They don't even need a lot of height to do it. Even a short drop gives them enough time to adjust their position. That's why you'll sometimes see a cat fall off a couch and still land like it just completed a gymnastics routine. But wait, it gets even more impressive. Cats also instinctively spread their body to increase air resistance. This slows their fall slightly, giving them more time to stabilize. It's not enough to float, but it's enough to fine-tune the landing. Now, let's be honest. Watching it feels almost unreal, because in that split second, gravity says, "You're falling," but the cat replies, "No, I'm landing." Still, here's the important truth. Cats are skilled, not invincible. High falls can still be dangerous, even with this reflex. So, while it looks like superhero physics, it's actually evolution, precision, and instinct working together at lightning speed. So next time your cat lands perfectly like nothing happened, don't just laugh or be shocked. Appreciate the engineering, because in that tiny moment of chaos, your cat just proved something wild. Balance isn't learned in the moment. It's built into who they are. Why cats love sneaking up on you. Ever had that moment When everything is quiet, you turn around and suddenly your cat is right there. No sound, no warning, just a fluffy little ninja appearing out of nowhere like they teleported into your reality. Yeah, welcome to the world of feline stealth operations. And no, it's not accidental. It's not clumsy curiosity. It's pure, built-in stealth engineering. Let's start with the truth. Cats are born hunters. Long before they ever became your living room royalty, their survival depended on silence, patience, and surprise attacks. In the wild, sneaking up on prey is the difference between eating and not eating. So, even in your home, that instinct doesn't disappear. It just gets redirected. Now, your feet become prey. Your moving shadow becomes target practice. And your hallway becomes a training ground. Second, reason motion triggers everything. Cats are hypersensitive to movement. Even the smallest shift of footstep, a hand gesture, a turning head can instantly activate their stalk mode. Their brain doesn't think. That's my human. It thinks. Movement detected. Approach silently. And that's when it begins. The crouch, the slow steps, the frozen pauses, the laser focus. Ding bum. They appear right next to you like a jump scare from a horror movie. Except it's a 10-pound fluffy creature demanding absolutely nothing and everything at the same time. But here's the funny twist. Sometimes it's not even hunting behavior. Sometimes it's attention behavior. Cats quickly learn something very important about humans. If they surprise you, you react. You talk. You look. You engage. And for a cat, any reaction is valuable currency. So sneaking up becomes a game where the rules are simple. Being visible, silent, then appear dramatically. And let's be real, cats love drama. But there's also comfort behind it. Sneaking up lets them stay close to you without feeling exposed. It's a mix of curiosity, bonding, and instinct all rolled into one smooth, silent approach. So when your cat suddenly appears behind you like a tiny shadow with opinions, don't panic. They're not plotting. They're not haunting you. They're just being exactly what they are at heart. A stealthy little hunter who turned your home into their personal training arena. And in their world, every surprise entrance is just another way of saying, I saw you first. I just decided to wait. Why cats watch you in silence. Irresistible. That sudden moment when you look up and your cat is just staring at you. No sound, no blink, no movement, just pure, silent focus. Like they're analyzing your entire existence. Yeah, it's not just cute, it's unsettlingly intense. And the truth is, your cat isn't watching you randomly. Silence, that's their superpower. First, cats are silent observers by design. In the wild, silence means survival. A quiet cat is a successful hunter. Noise gives away position, intention, and weakness. So even in your home, that instinct never turns off. Watching silently is their default safe mode. But here's where it gets interesting. When your cat stares at you, they're not just looking, they're collecting data. Is data. Cats constantly study your behavior. When you wake up, when you move in the fridge, when you sit, when you leave the room. Over time, they build a mental schedule of your entire routine. So that silent stare, it's basically their way of saying, I know what you're going to do next. I'm just confirming it. Second, reason emotional scanning. Cats are incredibly sensitive to tone, movement, and energy shifts. They can detect when you're calm, stressed, excited, or even slightly different than usual. They don't need words, they read microsignals. So when they sit quietly and watch you, they're checking the vibe. Are you relaxed, safe, predictable, or is something off? Now, here's the part that feels a little spooky. Cats also use staring as a form of communication. No meow, no movement, just eye contact. Because in cat language, silence isn't empty, it's intentional. A slow blink might mean trust. A steady gaze might mean curiosity. And sometimes, it's just them bonding with you in their own quiet way. But let's be honest, sometimes it still feels like judgment, like they're sitting there thinking, yes, this human is doing weird human things again. And maybe that's not too far from the truth. Because cats don't just live with us, they observe us constantly, quietly, carefully. So the next time your cat is silently staring from the corner of the room, don't rush to fill the silence. Just accept it, because in that quiet moment, your cat isn't being strange. It's simply doing what it does best, watching, learning, understanding, and silently reminding you, you are never as alone as you think you are. Why cats always choose the highest spot? Ever notice this insane pattern? No matter how many comfy beds you buy, no matter how perfect the floor looks, your cat always ends up on the highest possible point in the room, top of the cupboard, back of the sofa, fridge, door frame, like they're training for some elite rooftop mission. And you're left thinking, why? Well, this isn't random behavior. It's ancient instinct mixed with pure feline psychology. Let's start with the truth. For cats, height equals control. In the wild, the highest spot is the safest spot. From up there, a cat can see everything: movement, danger, prey, even other animals approaching. Nothing sneaks up on them. They're not just sitting. They're monitoring their entire kingdom. So when your cat climbs up and freezes in that dramatic statue pose, it's not being lazy. That's Andy. Second reason confidence boost mode is on at higher ground. Cats feel more powerful when they're elevated. It's like their version of sitting in a VIP balcony seat while the world happens below. Everything looks smaller, slower, and easier to predict. Down there, chaos. Up here, total dominance. But there's also something deeper. Cats are naturally curious explorers. Heights give them a better map view of their environment. Every sound, every movement, every tiny shift becomes easier to understand. It's like upgrading from standard definition to Ultra HD surveillance. And let's not forget, cats are built for it. Their bodies are basically engineered for climbing. Flexible spines, powerful hind legs, razor-sharp balance. What looks impossible to us is just a casual jump for them. If there's a surface available, their brain automatically says, we can reach that. But here's the funniest part. Sometimes it's not even about safety or strategy. Sometimes it's just attention. Because the moment they jump to that ridiculous high spot and stare down at you, what happens? You react. You look up. You talk to them. You get involved. And in a cat's world, attention equals victory. So yes, your cat isn't just randomly climbing everything. It's surveying. It's calculating. It's ruling. Because in their mind, the highest spot isn't just a place. It's a statement. And that statement is loud and clear. I don't live in this house. I oversee it. Why cats love climbing everything. Ever walked into a room and found your cat on top of the fridge, staring at you like they just conquered Mount Everest? Yeah, that's not random. That's instinct. And honestly, cats don't just like climbing things, they feel like they were born to rule from above. Let's break it down. First, it's all about survival wiring. In the wild, height means safety. A higher spot gives cats a full view of everything: predators, prey, movement, danger. So, when your cat climbs your bookshelf or kitchen counter, their brain isn't saying, this looks fun. It's saying, better vantage point secured. I am safe. I am in control. Second, cats are natural hunters and climbers. From above, they can silently observe everything. Every tiny movement becomes a potential target, even in your living room. That rolling pen or moving shadow turns into prey simulation mode. There. Instant dont t'échappes of just because they're indoors. Now, here's the fun part. Cats don't just climb for survival, they climb for status. Yes, seriously, in their world, height equals dominance. The highest spot in the room. That's basically the throne. So when your cat claims the top of the couch, door frame, or shelf, they're not being silly. They're mentally saying, this kingdom, mini. But there's also a physical reason. Cats have insanely powerful back legs and flexible spines designed for jumping and scaling. Their bodies are built like spring-loaded athletes. If something is climbable, their brain automatically goes. Try it. Even boredom plays a role. A climbing surface is not just elevation, it's entertainment, exploration, and a personal adventure park rolled into one. And let's be real, sometimes they climb just to watch you panic. You see them up high and go, no get down. They hear, mission successful, attention achieved. So the next time your cat is perched somewhere ridiculous on a door, shelf, or curtain rod, don't just see chaos. See instinct, see intelligence, see evolution in action. Because in your cat's mind, climbing isn't misbehavior, it's strategy. And every high place, just another reminder that in their world, the higher they go, the more powerful they feel. Why cats react to invisible things. Have you ever been sitting in a quiet room and suddenly your cat just stares at the empty corner like something is right there? No sound, no movement, just pure, intense focus, and it gives you chills. Yeah, this is not your imagination. And honestly, it's one of the most fascinating mysteries of cats. Let's get one thing straight. Cats are not seeing ghosts, but they are experiencing a world that we simply cannot access. Here's the truth that blows most people's minds. Cats have senses that are built like high-performance survival machines. Their hearing, insanely advanced. They can detect ultrasonic sounds, tiny squeaks from rodents, insects moving inside walls, or even el buzzing's kinteratiol. So, when your cat suddenly locks eyes on nothing, there might actually be a whole secret audio world happening behind the scenes. And their vision, it's designed for motion detection, not detail. Cats can notice the slightest flicker, a dust particle floating in sunlight, a bug moving behind furniture, or shadows shifting in ways you'd never even register. So when they suddenly jump, stare, or twitch their ears like they're tracking an invisible target, they're not being dramatic. They're being precise. But there's more. Cats also rely heavily on whiskers, basically ultra-sensitive radar systems. These whiskers detect air pressure changes. Imagine feeling a butterfly fly past you without seeing it. That's their everyday reality. So that invisible thing your cat is reacting to, it could be a tiny insect you can't see, a sound echo bouncing through the room, a vibration in the floor, or even airflow shifting from a closing door. Still, let's be honest, sometimes it feels a little spooky because your cat will just stop, eyes wide, body frozen, like they've detected something from another dimension. And in that moment, your brain starts writing stories. But science gives a simpler answer. Cats are just operating on a frequency of awareness we're not tuned into. So next time your cat stares into empty space, don't panic. They're not seeing the supernatural. They're just noticing the unnoticeable. And in their world, nothing is ever really empty.